school, and God really has restored him. And it's just really amazing. I was talking about it at Hartdige on this week, that if God is able to come and visit you in your hospital room, that I believe that Jesus is still able to visit us. God is able to visit us today.
Oh, yes.
You know, I don't believe there's any shortage, there's not anything that's going on in this world today that prevents him from being able to do the same thing that he did before. I believe that if he's done it before, he can do it again. I believe that he's still able to save, he's still able to heal, and still able to deliver. So he's a sought-out speaker, sought-out musician. And I'm so glad today that he accepted our invitation to come to this little place. Because if you look at some of the names here, some of the names that he's worked with, Bishop Clarence McClendon there in California, Pastor Dunny McClurkin, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and some of these people that he's worked with, Billy Preston, will he go around in circles? See, probably they don't know about that. Bishop Charles Blake and others. He's received the ministerial education in counseling, Life Bible College, and Fuller Theological Seminary. He received his doctorate in Christian counseling from United Graduate College and Seminary International. So he's well-rounded in the Word of God, solid in the Word, and he's able to have a ministry that reaches people of all ages. And that's what's so fascinating. That's what I heard Bishop Sturp talk about after he spoke on Tuesday night during our aim. You know, that he had the attention and he was able to captivate the people. Because a lot of times, you know, when the word goes forth, younger people kind of check out. You know, they just kind of check out. They go to their phones, they go to their iPads. But I'm telling you, this is amazing to be able to have a ministry that's able to reach people at all levels. And I think that's what Jesus was able to do. He was able to communicate with people at various stages of their life. So the men are going to come and we're going to sing a selection. And after the men sing a selection, then we're going to have the Calhoun sisters or the CFC Mass Choir, whichever it is that sings that song that you all sang over there at the Great Memorial on last Sunday. Lord, bless us with that. And then after you all have finished, then I would like for everyone to stand and receive the speaker of the hour, Dr. Al Hartdige. Amen? Amen. At this time, we're going to be in the hands of the men's choir under the direction of Minister Anthony Allen. Pray for the men.
As good as God has been to me, I can't afford not to praise his name. As good as God has been to me, I'm gonna give him the highest praise. As good as God has been to me, I can afford not to praise his name. As good as God has been to me, I'm gonna give him the highest praise. As good as God has been to me, I can't afford not to praise his name. As good as God has been to me, I'm gonna give him the highest praise. As good as God has been to me, I can't afford not to praise his name. As good as God has been to me, I'm gonna
You know my name. You know my name. You know my name. And oh, how you walk with me. Oh, how you talk with me. Oh, how you tell me I am your
blessing to be here on today. And I'm telling you that a lot of people are out. Everybody that's supposed to be here, they're here. Is that all right? I believe that the Lord will honor just that we're here to give him glory and to give him honor. I'm going to sing a song. Is that all right? Since you hold the mic for me? Okay. You want to start? I'm going to dedicate this to my friend with the pretty hair. I'm telling you about my hair. I have a ponytail for real. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other, reaches to me. You are my strength. I'm not alone with the preacher, but I'm not going to rush either. It's just a blessing to be here and have a good feel on today. I think the last time I preached here, it was a district revival. District revival, and then Pastor contacted me in relationship to AIM. So most of my preaching is out of town. So the last time I preached in San Antonio was here. Was a district revival. And then when they called me again to preach at the AIM, that was like, wow, what a blessing. And from that particular service, I've gotten 2 engagements to preach at other AIMs.
All right.
Bishop Dupree in Nevada, and Bishop Sam Doyle in California. So thanks again. I owe you one. I hate that you're Air Force, but you know, soft people have to go in the Air Force. It's the real people that go in the Army. No, I'm messing with you. Hey, Paul. But we're just grateful to be here. He was sharing something with me sitting there. And I had spoke to my wife on yesterday, and I was telling her some things that I felt the Lord had said to my heart in relationship to courageous faith. And for him to say what he said to me, sitting there, just kind of just amazing what God does. And so I'm going to just add to that whatever you ask for. It's, you know, the universe has to respond to you. because Christ is in you, and He's the hope of glory. So I'm expecting and to see when y'all move and have your own spot. Some things I've learned that y'all do will really kind of interest me because every now and then y'all do YPWW. We don't do YPW, and this is not, I'm not knocking my church. I mean, I've been there 8 years. I'm not knocking it, and we've been asking Pastor King, we like have maybe one Sunday night service, but I understand that y'all have Sunday night service periodically, right? And YPWW, and y'all gonna move close to where we are, so that we're gonna come over and you know, bust in on your party. That's what we're yeah. We'll have fun. Who knows, I might get a lace front, you never know that. If I go over some hair, don't be jealous, don't be hating, no. But I'm grateful to be here with you. In the book of Matthew, chapter 15, I don't know what time it is. What time is it? 12:21. 12:20? All right. I won't be a long time. I don't know about getting tuned or not. I'll preach first, but if I get tuned, it's just because I'm resting. If I do that, it'll be flat, you know. So, well, I'll do some hair too. We'll all have hair. My wife does hair, so we can get hair now. No problem. Matthew chapter 15 and verse number 28. Well, if you're there or close to it, say amen. Amen. Well, I'll read it for you, it doesn't matter. I feel comfortable here, so is that all right? Good. All right, good. Matthew 15 and verse 20, it says, then Jesus answered, said to her, O woman, great is your faith, let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. I'm going to go over to chapter 11 of Hebrews and verse number 6. And it reads like this, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Can you say amen? Before you sit down, would you look at somebody, and I want you to repeat these words after me, and I believe that the Lord will certainly bless us. Look at somebody and tell them, neighbor, the way you're going to receive from the Lord, you must have persistent faith. All right, you may have your seat in the presence of the Lord. So I want to talk to you for just a few minutes on persistent faith. And I've learned that one of the things that really, I believe, that impresses the Lord is a steadfast faith. I really believe that. And all that he is and all that he promises to do, and it's amazing how God does things, because I believe sometimes we expect God to do things a certain way, and he has a whole different idea as to how he wants to bring deliverance or healing. And deliverance, a lot of times, has really nothing to do with how we feel or what we know. His deliverance is always on time. I know in the military, they tell you if you're on time, you're already late. So they want you to be here 15 minutes early. And that way you're really on time. And God is always on time. Even when it appears that he's late, his time is always perfect. He promises always stand sure. Everything that he promises to do, it doesn't matter what you're going through. Matter of fact, I've come to understand that everything you go through, everything you're encountered with, is to get you to a place where God wants you to be. Because if you're like me, I can complain about stuff. I really can't. Listen, we had to sing yesterday afternoon at Superintendent Johnson, right? His pre-anniversary. Pastor gave us the announcement. He wanted a praise team there, and it was hot yesterday too. I understand y'all had church yesterday, right here. And it was church. Anita was here. She said, y'all had church at the BB. Yeah. So I said, well, she said, Bishop Stewart, I said, no wonder. He's going to have church one way or the other. But in my complaining, we get there, it was hot, and the people that was in charge had to turn the air on. So we were sweating insert, right? Getting them tan inside, right? And so I only had 2 praise team members. I had like 12 praise team members, only 2 showed up. That's like What is the problem? You know? And then I found out most of them went bowling. Went bowling and shooting pool. I said, they could have at least invited me. You know, I'm an anointed pool shooter. I learned it in a service club. You know, but that kind of disappointed me. And so I was complaining. I really was complaining. You know, we do go out a lot. So, you know, I'm asking the Lord to give Pastor some no pills to say no. Because he said yes all the time, and we have no idea that we're going someplace until that Sunday. So I found out this morning that we're going to Pastor Williams, Langston Williams, at 4 o'clock. I got a text and we're on my phone, and your dad's office right now. Langston Williams, 4 o'clock. Then I had another text getting out of the car. No, it's going to be 3:30. So I'm thinking, I didn't even know that because I had plans. I was going to hang out, you know. But I'm a musician, you know. So today they get a chance to miss me. So when I see them this afternoon, I want to hear them say, "Oh, we really missed you." And then I'm going to tell them, "Oh man, we had a good time." So everything that God promises, He's going to bring to pass. And it's amazing how that God, He compensates us for trusting Him. Blessed God, I heard this morning, I had to go to work this morning at 5:30, so I've been up since like 5. So if it seems like I'm going off the left, you know, you understand, right? And then I haven't had coffee, so, you know, coffee's a drug, I mean, is it not? Thank God for all the drug addicts in the house. Did God make Starbucks or not, or what? Yes, He did. How? All right, you're probably good. I can't preach on. I'm not. It feels good to be here. So anyway, all that He promises, no matter what it is, God compensates you for trusting Him. Faith gives God His proper place. It gives Him glory, and He loves it exceedingly. Matter of fact, He says, if you delight yourself in me, I'll give you the desires of your heart. When you put God first, and whatever it is that you're going to do, it really turns Him on. You really want to get God going, praise Him, and have a spirit of gratitude. Because if you can be grateful for where you are and be thankful for what you have, it'll get you more. For real. Gratitude has a lot to do with your attitude. Somebody say amen. You see, our trust in God. Matter of fact, there's a scripture in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse number 2. It says, and I'm going to give you a paraphrase of it. Looking or fixing your eyes on Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. It is our trust in Christ that causes our faith to grow to the level of pleasing Him. And I'm sure that God wants us to experience. Now, this came to me this week after I found out I was going to be preaching. God wants us to experience not only proven faith, but He wants us to experience perfect faith in Him. The kind of faith that sees the impossible become possible. Can you say that? Now, I'll ask a few examples as I go, and once I'm kind of juiced up, and then I'll just go for myself. There's a thing called proven faith, perfect faith, and real faith. And we need to live it on a day-to-day basis. Faith in God mixed with His limitless power, nothing is impossible. I mean, absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, where you're going, anything is possible at this point. Because if you're believing and you've got people to believe with you, He says, whether there are 2 or 3 gathered together, touching and agreeing on the same thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to add mine to yours, and I'm going to ask God that He would cause it to be at a price that is just unbelievable. Unbelievably good. It's kind of like when you're in the army and you serve your time and you get ready to go buy a house, and they tell you that you don't even have to pay taxes. No down payment. That sounds good. Am I right? Amen. And when you're trusting God and you got people to believe with you, God says, you know what? I'm going to let you walk in there And I'm going to let you walk in there with less money than you thought you had to pay. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. So I'm coming back. And then I know somebody that had an organ too, just in case. You know, just in case. Just in case. We'll get you a good price. We'll get you a good price. So the point I'm trying to get to today, I want to talk to you in relationship to certain kinds of faith that we have at our access. God wants us to experience these kinds of faith. The kind of faith that sees things that you thought would never happen will happen. And this can happen at any time. Persistent faith, it will put you in a dimension that you would not normally be in. And for some unknown reason, it appears that sometimes the other persuasions, other ministries seem to have, like they don't have no problem believing God. Other ethnicities, like that, they don't have a problem. They just trust God. Anybody white anyway, right? White people just like they just trust God. What no matter, and they don't do half of the stuff we do, right? They just trust God. My wife was playing at CBC over on 1604. Y'all heard CBC? Yes. And so she was asking, well, where's the black people? She said, the pastor said, that's why we hired you. So they hired her, and then black people now. Yeah. But it's like they just believe God. When God said it, the Lord said it, and they can't do half of what we do, you know. I mean, we get involved. Am I right? When I was trying to get saved and on the altar, they don't do that. They don't do altar. We did altar. Like it was about 2 years, looked like I was on the altar. Matter of fact, I was a veteran by the time I left the altar. Because you got to say, you know, like 30,000 thank you, Jesus. Right? And then you're going to get, when you feel like you're going to not be saved, and they got the mothers in my day, they used to wear white stockings, white shoes, right? And then when you thought you weren't going to, they would double team you. They'd be on both sides of you. And one is telling you to let go, the other is telling you to turn it loose, and the other telling you to hold on. So there's no wonder that we were almost schizophrenic. By the time we did receive the Holy Ghost, we were just crazy, you know, because, you know, speaking in white church, they don't do it. They just, you know, they just believe God. They just like, you know, turn red and, you know, fall out, you know, it doesn't matter. But our faith is no different from theirs. And our God is no different from theirs. Because God has the power to put us in dimension through our persistent faith. He says, for I know in whom I have believed, and am persuaded, or I'm convinced, that that's God is able. You find that in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12. You see, the focus of our faith is knowing in whom we believe, not necessarily what we believe. We believe the promise of God, but it's so much better to believe the promiser. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if it doesn't look like it's coming the way you thought it would come, don't even worry about that, because most times God's not going to tell you how He's going to do it anyway. Matter of fact, if you let me paraphrase, I imagine God saying, that's not even your business. You want me to heal you? I'm going to heal you. But let me heal you the way I want to heal you. Because sometimes you can get a program and feel like this is the way it has to be done. You can't put God in a box like that. If that would have up to me, Pastor was telling me how I spoke in Vietnam. The chaplain was a black chaplain, right? And he says, I see on your record that you're a minister. So I said, yes, sir. Captain Eagle, that was his name. He says, I'm going to let you speak to the truth. I said, really? He said, I said, yeah, I'm ready. Because I got drafted out of revival. So I was still hot, you know? So I get there, and we're setting all out. We're in the Delta. We're setting outdoors anyway, no building. So he says, you know, go for it. Man, I get up, I'm fixing Acts 2, you know, be filled with the Ghost. When I finished, I think I must have talked for maybe 15, 20 minutes. When I finished, the MPs cuffed me, put cuffs on me, and put me in a Conex box. Anybody know what a Conex box is? It's a big iron box, that's all it is, iron. You see it at shipping docks and places like that. But we had iron boxes with holes in it. It was like the jail. It was our jail. They put me in there. I'm trying to think what was. So he said, he came back and said, we see that you are mentally unstable. He said, excuse me? He said, you're mentally unstable. What are you talking about, the Holy Ghost? What are you talking about, speaking in tongues? I said, I just quick say, he said, no, you have to go through evaluation. We're going to take you to the doctor, psychologist, something's wrong with you. Put me in the stockade. You talking about, out of all that anointing, I was upset. Now, I'm mad now, really. And I really want to talk to God because I just preached your word. And you got me in jail in Vietnam. I had a little testament, right? And the Spirit of the Lord, as upset as I was, he still spoke to me. He says, read Acts chapter 12, verse 5. Just that clear. I opened it up, guess what I found? Peter in jail for the gospel's sake. Then my friend came to the Connex box and said, Al, you in there? I really wanted to cuss him out, right? I said, where else would I be? He said, man, you should be glad you're in there. I'm thinking, you must be out of your mind. He said, because your platoon went out yesterday. And none of them came back. They all got killed. You would have been in that platoon. So I would have never known that God said, you know what, I'm going to put you in jail to save your life. So you follow where I'm trying to go now? So he has a way of doing things that we know how to focus our faith on him. Persistent faith. Persistent faith says, I'm going to trust God no matter what happens. I listened to Mr. Allen's testimony. Listen, potassium is very important in your body. But God made your body. And if anybody knows how to regulate your body, God knows how. All right. And you need more spinach and more bananas. It helps. Understand, persistent faith will cause you to hold on when even the doctor don't understand what's happening. When they told my parents, your son didn't make it, he's dead, they sent the flag, they sent all that stuff, all the paraphernalia, they sent all that stuff to my dad. And I told y'all that, hey, my dad said, well, we're going to have a prayer revival, and we're not going to eat another meal until we get another telegram. Right. And 5 days later, they got another telegram saying he made it, but he ain't going to live. First of all, I was dead. Now I'm alive, but I'm going to die again. That don't even make sense. Right? And so, but I'm still here. You would never know they did plastic surgery on my face. You would never know. So when you're black, you can't go back now. You know, we're just stopped, right? And so here's some things I want to share with you, and I think they'll be beneficial. I pray they will. There are some things in the Word of God as it relates to faith. Now, faith comes in two senses, or twofold, if I can say it that way. And number one, there's trust and reliance. Trust and reliance. You rely upon the Lord through His Word. Doesn't matter what people say or how you feel. And a lot of times our emotions really doesn't have anything to do with what God's going to do through His Word. He gives us emotions because we are normal. And the seed of our emotions is in our heart. And sometimes we'll think with our heart more than with our head. So the twofold sense in faith is trust and reliance. And the other two is fidelity. Be true to God and trustworthiness. Look, fidelity, going to be true to Him, trustworthy, you trust His worth. Are you with me so far? You're not bored, right? Oh, good. So, and then what happens, you can view faith from two other capacities, quality and quantity. You don't need a lot. So as it relates to quantity, listen how it goes. Little faith says, God can do it, but I'm not sure He will. You'll find that in Matthew chapter 14. Then it says, great faith says, God can do it, and He will. That's great faith. Are you with me? Here's perfect faith. God can do it, and it's already done. I don't see it, but I believe it's done. Listen what it says in the book of Romans, chapter 4, verse 17. God called things that are not as though they are. If you do I have a lot of dreamers in here? Do anybody dream often, every now and again, or pretty often? Okay, this is what they told me in my class. If you dream something, well, first of all, when you go to sleep, you're 3/4 dead anyway. So when you dream, your subconscious is going or doing whatever it is that you're dreaming. So dreams really can be a reality. Are you with me so far? Now, I'm not going to say something that's not, Bible-based. Dreams, you can go places, dream in your dream, and it's almost, when you wake up, it was like real. It makes sense? You have to understand your consciousness, your spirit person, never sleeps. Here's a better illustration. Little children, I watched, he's going to be a bad grown. No, for real. Let him keep doing that. He's going to drum, he's going to be good, really. But I saw her go help him because he dropped the stick. So she went to help. But like these signs, if you don't know how to get on Facebook, on your phone, give the phone to them. Those little phones, they can find stuff on your phone that you didn't know exists. And I shared this, I think I shared this in the AIM service. My little girl, when she was 4, she was saying things to me that a 4-year-old should be saying. Well, what happened was when she was born, my mom passed. So in my psychology class, I was sharing that with the professor. He says, well, you have to understand, spirits don't die. The spirit, if they did, people, your family in Arkansas, and Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, all those foreign countries, they'll tell you they saw Uncle Charlie. Am I right? Haints, they call them Haints, right? So the spirit keeps living. And if that was not true, you wouldn't be feeling who Jesus is today. It's the spirit. The letter killeth, the spirit makes alive. So when you go to sleep, your spirit travels. Here's Jacob. Jacob finally gets some rest. He goes to sleep. He goes to sleep, but his spirit comes alive, and he is climbing up the ladder in his spirit. Are y'all with me so far? Amen. So, and then sometimes your spirit work while you're sitting in church. You can sometimes you look at somebody and you can read their spirit. And you don't need a degree in psychology to tell when somebody don't like you. You can feel it. Am I right? Okay, can I get about 10 amens? Okay, good. The Spirit of God, here's the cool thing. In the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse number 7, it says that God blew himself into us through Adam, right? So now the Spirit of God is in us. So when you are born anew, whatever you say, you got to understand your words carry power. And anything you put behind I am, you're in trouble. If you wake up and say, I'm so sick of this job, you just put something into action. Because the I am of God is in you. So when you say, I'm so depressed, I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm poor, I'm too dark, I'm too light. All that is the I am of Christ in it. You gotta let me come don't have to preach. I can just talk, Because I'm the organist at my church, right? So I don't, and take this in the right way. So I don't get to preach. I get to play. So if I'm happy and really feel like something's going on, I just sing it out through the choir. And that way it's legal, right? But to get off the organ and take the microphone, Pastor Dewey, would not be the right thing to do. I don't think. No. So perfect faith says God can do it, and it's already done. I don't see it, but I believe it. So now what you've got to do at this point, what would be expedient, since you know you're going to move. So now you've got to determine how you want to fix up this building you're going to. You got to see it up here. And you want an organ, so you got to know, you got to start saying, okay, this is what it's going to look at. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. You got to be in there before you're in there. And what happens is God promotes it and gets you to where you need to be. And then the finance problem is not even there. Here's this gentle woman. This really kind woman. Her daughter has a demon problem. When I looked in my Bible, I have a dictionary Bible, and the dictionary Bible gave me the definition of demon-possessed people. Demon-possessed people have unconsciously turned their thought processes over to an evil spirit. And so the demon now takes charge and causes them to do things they would not normally do. It's nothing wrong with the person, it's that spirit in the person. It's like, anybody who ever been drunk? I know you don't get drunk now, but have you ever been drunk before? All right, I got three witnesses. Let's see your hand there. Okay. What happens is the alcohol in you dulls your brain. It dulls your senses. And I've seen them really drunk when they would talk to trees. You ever seen a drunk man talk to? He'll tell the tree, you need some money? Ask me. I'll give it to you. But it's that other spirit in the bottle, that right? So do that same thing in relationship to the Spirit of God in you. God is in you. Every time you breathe, that's God. So whatever you say, the element has to recognize and has to respond to what you say. So if you say that we have the beauty. So now that gives God the opportunity to work it out. So we need to worry about God. How you going to work it? What procedure? Don't worry about that, Calhoun. He said, claim it. Claim it by my name. My name is good. Claim it, and I can bring it to pass. So here's this lady, gentle woman. She didn't even know, she wasn't even a Jew. So she was wrong by calling him by his political name, son of David. She wasn't even supposed to do that. She wasn't even qualified to do that. So, fact of the matter, she didn't even get a response. She called him son of David. Jesus, according to scripture, didn't even answer her. He didn't say anything to her. Then the disciple says, tell her to get away from him. He said, told him, send her away. And Jesus says, no, she has faith. You find it in verses 24 to 25. So the Lord reminded her that his mission was to the house of Israel, not Gentiles. But her faith, that didn't bother her. My daughter is demon possessed, I need my daughter healed. So she didn't let the refusal turn her off. So then she says, all right, since I can't come as a Jew, I can't call him son of David because I'm not qualified. So I'm not even going to give him no title. I'm going to say, Lord, help me. So when she said that caught his attention. You see that in verse number 26. She comes to the Creator as a preacher. So to further probe this, Jesus told this woman, it is not good for me to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. Now, dog is a cool word now. Hey, dog, what's up? But this woman, that ain't about this woman. Listen to how she responded, and I'm almost done. Her reply was so magnificent. She said, I agree with you, but I'm one of the little dogs under the table. Now, this is what she said. But I noticed that sometimes crumbs fall on the floor from the table. So, since you can't give me the bread, how about some crumbs? No more paraphrase. Because there is healing in the crumbs that fall from your table. There is deliverance in those crumbs. There's joy, there's peace in the crumbs that you have, Jesus. Because she had persistent faith. She was not going to let nothing stop her. She wasn't going to quit. She needed the Lord to help her. She was determined. Her faith took over her emotions. The Lord healed her daughter. That's in the Bible. What about you and I? What is it that you really want the Lord to do? Because so many times, if you're like I am, if I can get somebody else to pray for me, it looks like it just works better when somebody else prays for me. But every now and then I have to remember and recognize that same prayer on getting you to pray for me, I could pray for myself. It just seems better when somebody else prays, and you can break down and cry, you know. When I was seeking with the Holy Ghost, if my mom came up to the altar, I lost it. I would just cry, and I would just, you know, I couldn't get the Holy Ghost for some reason. I don't know what that was about. And then all my friends were on the altar. And then some of my friends, they had some kind of spirit in them. There was something wrong with them, because one of my best friends, he would get happy and he would do this, and he hit me. I knew I was going to get the Holy Ghost that night, but he hit me. So now I got to get him back. So, yeah. So what I did, I kind of opened my eyes and I saw where he was. So I said, I'm going to do the same thing. I bought my fist up and I hit him right back. Of course, I paid for that. I got 2 whoopings that night. My mother whipped me first, and then my dad whipped me later. That's me. It wasn't my family. It was 9 of us. So if one person was getting a whooping, my father would just line us up, and I'd be running to figure out what is that about, you know. And I'm the baby boy, right? And so I'm like the last one in line. I'm getting. I got a testimony. I need to let him know I didn't do anything wrong. But you know, you can do that with parents then. So I was to say, but Dad, I didn't do anything. He said, no, I promised you a whooping sometime back. So I'm just thinking, I mean, we were all in line. And we all got, now my dad could whoop me, I loved it. Because he's going to hit you 2 or 3 times. I said, my mom was even-handed. So she's going to whoop you with this hand, then she's going to stop and ask you a question. She's going to whoop you with this hand, you know. And I promised myself, I remember when I was turning 9, I said, when I get older, I'm going to whoop both of them. Yeah. Of course, that never did happen. I think it was a gangster spirit in me. Because I still like guns. Am I making sense? All right. Here's my point. He believes that he's going to get this building. So if he's believing, then she'll believe. I'm going on the same scenario as getting the whooping. Everybody's in line. So she's believing. So if mom and dad believe, then y'all catch on to that and y'all start believing. Well, now you got to understand, heaven cannot handle over 3 people believing the same thing. What happens is, it's got to be happening. It's got to turn over to you, because if 7 or 8 of you believe in the same thing, look at the people in Shinar. They're building this building. They said, we're going to heaven. Tower of Babel, right? Babbling. That's what it means. So they're building this temple, and the Bible says, God says, I can't let the people come there. I'm paraphrasing, but the Bible says they can't come. So God had to come down and confuse the language. So when one says, give me brick, they gave him mortar. Give me mortar, they give him brick. So now we have Spanish. Yes, we have language now. But do you realize what's going to happen when, okay, so when the lease is up, do you have to pay a closing in the lease? If the building is still halfway leased, do they give you lease money back? Possibly. Do they give you down? Let's ask for some money. You see where I'm going? Yeah. There is. How can I say this? I feel like I'm boring you, but I don't mean to. There was something in this room. There was not only healing atmosphere, but there's miracle. There's a miracle of something in here. The feeling in the air. Y'all love the North Star Mall? Anybody here like the mall? Yeah. You buy it in the mall? Do you hear the music in the mall? Okay. That's what I do. I make music for malls, elevators, doctor's offices. Ask me why. Because the music has a subliminal message to it. When you're in the mall, we play certain kind of music that people buy. When you go to the dentist, some dentists are now playing rap, so no wonder you're in pain. No, but some of your good dentist office is soft music. It's almost so low you don't even hear it until you pay attention to it. But it's there to make you relax. If you go to McDonald's is red, yellows, colors like that. That's why they call it fast food. You go, you get it, and you're out. When you go to a good restaurant, it's green, brown, because they want you to stay there a while. You follow what I'm saying? God has the same, he says, if you speak it, I can do it. If you speak it, we're moving, we're getting that place. So how do we want to do it? How do we want to paint? Right. You follow what I'm saying? Because that building was already built, not for the Seventh-day Adventist, it was only built for them to use it. It was built for Calhoun. Right. It's like I'm not making sense, but I know I'm making sense. Things that God has for you takes you sometime around the mountain to get to where it is. Elizabeth Taylor said that she recently got married so many times she was trying to get she got it right. So when you're trusting God, you have to just keep working at it till you get it right. I was complaining, and matter of fact, I complained to Pastor Bless, says, Pastor, could maybe maybe to get sick one Sunday and let me preach, because a preacher, I got desperate, because I love to play, I love the preaching, but every now and then the Lord will speak to me, and I want to share. So I was really, feeling kind of out of it. Because he got preachers and he let them preach, and sometimes they're preaching and they're like, I want to preach so bad, I'm thinking, they're messing up so good, they're not even making sense, and so I went home, I went to LA, and I went, this is my church, I was a member of West Angeles, and it just so happened, I love Bishop Lincoln because he's touchable, you can just walk up to him, and so he said, how's it going? I said, fine. He says, have you, Bishop Aguilar preached you yet? I said, no, sir. I said, I haven't even met Bishop Aguilar. I've been here 8 years, I haven't met him yet. So he says, so, are you backsliding? I said, no, sir. I said, just, he said, you know what? Your time to come. I said, I'm getting older. He says, that's even better. So he says, Don't complain about that. You got too many other ways you can preach. You got YouTube. Preach. Get on there. He said, no, I'm gonna give you some recommendations. Well, when Bishop Blake gives you recommendations, you must be somebody. Am I right? So I came back to San Antonio. I was encouraged, and sure enough, he called some people in Houston, and I'm telling you, I went. Houston is a whole other ballgame. They're not as safe as people living in San Antonio, in Houston, but I had an awesome time. And then I said, oh, this is good. And guess who else called me? He says, Elder Hartdige, no, he calls me Dr. Hartdige. I don't know why he does that. He says, Dr. Hartdige, we would like you to speak the name, something like that. I got my phone, I went to Tina and said, look at this. She said, who's that? She said, I was already nervous. And I'm thinking, how did he do that? Well, I wasn't aware, that you're the man, right? And so I said, do I need to tell Pastor Julie this? Nah. Of course, the word gets out, So the next night, I got preached the name, and I had said before this happened, I said, God, I need you to open the door for it. I'm telling you, my phone started ringing. I have about 4 engagements right now. You go to school and you get all this. It was expensive too, And sometimes I don't know about. Have anybody here ever felt like you failed? You feel that way? Well, this is what he told me in class, that if you feel like you failed, that's a good thing, because the only way you can be successful, you got to fail. So I'm really going to be successful now, because I got places to preach. I'm going to find somebody who may have to fill in for me sometime. Well, you're going to be around the corner, so you can just run over there, play it, and come back. But I hope I said something that makes sense to you, because your name is too powerful to not have what you want. Courageous faith. Courageous. First of all, you have to have courageous. You got courageous faith. You are courageous faith. And then y'all sing so well. I remember the first time I heard y'all sing, and I'm done. The first time I heard y'all sing, it was that we had to do a service over at J Street or someplace. It was a little bitty church over on J Street, right? Kind of like a place you go and throw dice or something, I don't know. But anyway, it's a little bitty church, and y'all sang. And I was trying to tell my wife, these girls, they all look alike. I said, but they could blow, right? And y'all sung acapella, because I didn't even know the song y'all sang, so I didn't play. So I said, God, these are good. We should record them. And, I don't know how we could work it out, but we got the studio. And it could be something you could do if you did just a 5-song CD and use that as your building fund, or use it to enhance, you put your daddy's and your mama's picture on the front, but y'all need to record. And I'm not going to charge you a whole lot. Really, I'm not. No, really, no. I'll record you, and maybe you could get your dad to preach every now and again. But that would be my gift to you guys, because people need to hear you. There's more people than Kurt Franklin. There's more people out there than Rucker, and there's more people out there. People need to hear you all, because you have courageous faith. Courageous faith. Unity, courageous faith. Courageous faith. Courageous faith. It's going to change that area that you're going to. You have a building. I just, in my spirit, I just feel that. I feel that. And I feel that financially it's going to work out perfectly. Thank you, sir.